無規制配信オバコンスターティンっていうね、いつものねあれですね、いつものパクリで始まりました。
ほんまやで、早くオリジナルになりたいわ。
でも言うのは楽しいからね、スターティンはね。
いたずら猫の人相書、これだな。
今週は今日アップデートが入った最終大型無料アップデートが入ったモンスターハンターワイルズだね。
最終アップデートザ・ファイナル。
ザ・ファイナル2回言わなくてもいいけどね。
ドクター X ザ・ファイナルみたいな。
いや2回は言ってないけどね。
私家宅捜索されても失敗しないので。
まあね、やってないらしいからね、何もやましいことは。
お前な。
You have a comment. Saliev says, Nani?
Nani?
I've actually heard that a lot the last couple of days because I've been playing Yakuza 3 Dark Ties.
Yeah.
The Kiwami version of it.
Yeah.
Uber fun as usual.
Yeah.
Ridiculous and over the top as usual. Nice to hear from you, Saliev. How are you doing? Jenny is just checking out the final free update stuff for Monster Hunter Wild since it updated today. Huh.
Yep.
I heard that Saif says still struggling to find a job. What about you two? Sorry to hear about that. Hope you can land a job that works out for you and your situation the best. Let me just turn the sound down a little bit. Let's see. So how are you doing, Jenny?
Well, yeah. Well, I feel the pain, and I know how finding work in hard times is, especially how the world is going to.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I'm genuinely like wondering what's going to happen to me, and so on and so forth. With our woman Hitler prime minister and the direction Japan's going.
Yeah, a lot to worry about, but I guess that's life in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So how are you doing? Other than that?
Well, getting by, I guess.
Getting by. That's better than not getting by.
It's not pretty, but I'm getting by.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said, don't worry, I'm pretty sure China will invade Japan soon. Well, that probably won't happen, but well, better chance that Takaichi will try to provoke shit happening, but well, we'll see how everything goes.
Well, honestly, in this day and age, I think it would be a blessing, since China isn't compromised like America has been compromised by Israel and Epstein.
That's a whole nother bag of incredibly bad deeds.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting that stuff to be awful, but it was awful beyond imagination, because they were like doing human sacrifices and eating people. It's totally fucking insane.
Oh yeah, on the island. Yeah, apparently.
and apparently it's even a pretty Hollywood thing to have like ritualistic sacrifices and eating babies and shit. It's absolutely fucking insane.
Sawyer says, "Wait, you don't eat people in Japan? Human meat tastes like pork. It's good."
No, human meat is kosher.
That's kosher. Okay. We don't eat pork though, right?
Yeah, we don't eat pork because it's filthy, but man, them babies is tasty. It's genuinely like, I mean the major media doesn't pick up on that stuff, but hearing the stuff of people that have been going through that, it's just absolutely like insane.
Yeah. Sawyer says cannibalism is one way to solve overpopulation. I guess I guess you can kind of say the world is similar to the world in Resident Evil. You have like these evil corporations that are turning people into zombies and eating each other and whatnot. I guess we're all under an umbrella, right?
Yeah, there's a hidden meaning in the umbrella name, huh?
Yeah. And by the way, I'm doing good as usual. It took for a long time for me to get to that point, but squeezing in a word right there. It's finally starting to get a little bit warm over here, huh? But for some reason today is a little bit cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just hoping for spring to come soon.
One thing though that amazes me with that stuff with the Epstein files is that I am amazed at my uncanny sense of like stars and like actors and even politicians that I thought were creepy or I didn't like for unknown reasons. It turns out there was a hidden clear reason that you wouldn't like them.
Your spidey sense is going on there.
Yeah.
What you have like cannibalism sensory
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
By the way, creepy story. When my sister was really young, our family was living in California, close to Los Angeles. She was about to get abducted by weird people when she was on the street. Really scary shit. Yeah, she managed to get away from it, and our mother caught up with her quickly, thankfully.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like it's insane how deep the stuff with that goes, and like how they were using like that company that does the school yearbooks and use that as like a portfolio to look for children to abduct.
Yeah.
And it's
So he says, shame, she could have been sacrificed to some eldritch horror by very rich and powerful people and then her body be consumed by them, like normal people do. All
Yeah.
caps. Yeah.
one
The,
thing.
the weird thing is that like I'm a history buff, so I like shit like this happened, like a long time ago. And I was like, yeah, I assume that I assume that people were intelligent enough to not like sacrifice people to some evil deity so that they can be all powerful for the rest of their lives. I assume that people weren't that fucking stupid, but
Well,
know.
the important thing, or the deep thing is that it's rich people that are still that fucking
I
stupid.
guess so.
They're still doing shit that they were doing like 6,000 years ago. They're like, oh, must have human sacrifice, must eat human flesh.
Yes, put newborn infant in bronze statue of Minotaur, or Baal or Moloch, whatever the fuck you want to call that.
Yeah, it turns out that Zionists worship Satan, not God.
So it says, need to drink blood of babies because it's an aphrodisiac. Yeah, the adrenochrome thing. We're actually talking about that every once in a while because, it's like, that's actually been going around for a long time in like, entertainment media, like these weird conspiracy theory stories, even like written in books and,
Yeah.
in movies and stuff, but ends up that it is true. What the fuck, right?
Yeah, because for a while it was fairly like big news, because like there was that period that like Madonna was like really weird and like messed up, and like
She
there
was
were
like into
rumors that-
ancient cabal.
Yeah, and there were rumors that she was like on adrenochrome, and people were like, adrenochrome, what is adrenochrome? And it's like, it's like taken from children that are frightened for their lives, and like it comes from their adrenaline. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I heard about it, and I was like, what in the world?
Yeah, I heard about it like from the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The guy that wrote that, and apparently that guy is like potentially makes snuff films. Apparently,
Well,
crazy.
Well, you were saying that like Johnny Depp was his friend, and disturbingly, the like only movie Johnny Depp directed was about a poor guy that was in a snuff film that decided to be in a snuff film to pay off his family's debt, and it's like, does this mean that this was an actual document and a story that he actually heard from someone who was making those things?
Maybe.
Well, you told me that there's that not theory, but there are those stories and rumors that Johnny Depp killed River Phoenix.
Well, even if he didn't directly, he didn't do it. He didn't help him when he was overdosing inside the Viper room that he owned, that club.
Yeah, and you were saying that like John Frusciante was there that day, and he like saw that and he was freaked out and he like ran away or something.
Yeah, he said in an interview before that, like, yeah, he was at the Viper room that day when he overdosed and apparently overdosed. And it was like the whole situation was so freaky to him that he just like ran out of the club and just ran away. It's like, isn't anyone like going to help or something? But I guess if they're all like on drugs or something, they couldn't call the police, right? I guess.
It's like, oh my God, the police are going to raid this place and I'm going to be arrested. And then they're going to find out that I'm fucking eating children.
Something like that? I don't know. Well, that's just, that's ranting, but. So apparently, with this update, Monster Hunter World, at least on the Xbox side, they greatly improved the performance in a lot of areas. Apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I don't know. You're playing this on the Series S right now.
Yeah.
Does it feel any smoother than before?
Well, it's hard to tell. There's some areas in some of the maps and places that the frame rate tanks.
I assume those points they tried to work on making better.
Yeah. Well, so far, I'm not experiencing any of those like frame rate tanking issues. There's, the the stuff about cannibalism reminds me, but I've heard stories of people saying that to for people to eat people, you like need to be insane because
I
like
would assume so.
no, well of course yeah, but it's like
Oh, yeah, like, you have
psychologically
like the psychological block or
yeah,
something.
there's like a
Oh.
psychological blocker that like blocks people from eating human flesh, and I heard that it's like people who are cannibals, like because of that they like lack any human expression or things like that.
Something in their chemical balance in their brain doesn't allow that blockage to happen or something,
Yeah.
or they have absolutely zero empathy.
Yeah. But probably those areas too. But that makes sense because I think anyone that you see that is like famous or is rich that has zero face expression, they are probably cannibals too.
Maybe.
Like Zuckerberg, he has zero face expression.
No, I would be surprised if he's even human. I mean, he looks like he looks like a puppet. Or maybe they were indoctrinated since childhood, like those cannibal tribes in Africa. Well, yeah, that too, I guess. I have seen people that were talking about like, well, there are people that grow up in families like that, and I have read some stuff of people growing up in a family that does ritualistic, weird shit, you know, that came from a family like that, but they were so they were so affected by that, and that they developed multiple personalities, and they actually ran away from home and whatnot kind of thing. I read some stuff like that, so yeah, I would still assume that, given being aware of more aware of what's considered modern civilization and the values that people share, right? I would think that's pretty hard. You'd have to be very, very isolated to not be affected by all that other stuff. So,
I would think.
but
so.
yeah, also similar things. I guess cults use similar things. They use a lot of rituals, whether it be like not like satanic rituals, but they do a lot of processes and routine work that conditions people to think in a specific way. That could happen, I guess. Like a form of mind control. A lot of this is why a lot of cults have these things. Similar thing with like the frat parties and things in college, where they have these things to initiate people, and they have them do these rituals or these routines to kind of get people in the mindset of being more, submissive, or controllable, or obedient. I guess.
It's like those toxic communities in MMO games.
Maybe. These weird communities that like all the characters, all the people make avatars that are like tiny and childlike, those freaky communities.
But like that makes a lot of sense though, because like so many of these like rich people, they have like no face expression.
Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel. I guess
That
Elon Musk is like
that
too.
Kushner shit.
Oh yeah, he looks like a plastic doll too.
He looks like his parents were Barbie and Ken, and they fucked each other and made a plastic human being.
That's kind of rude to Barbie and Ken actually, but yeah.
Yeah, even they have more life in.
They're more likable.
Yeah.
They have more charm.
They're actually smiling, even though they only have one face expression. And this one is what? Oh well, I want the puppet cat thing.
Going after the cat skins,
The
armor.
the new one, yeah.
Mm.
I think about the only good thing about all this stuff coming out is that now there's a way to know who is really evil, because these people worship Baal, who's like Satan. So.
Oh yeah, there's that weird thing of like those people, like the people that are opposing America trying to take over Iran, using these color revolutions and whatnot. They were like made a like a paper mache statue of Baal and burned the thing down, and they're like, we're not going to allow Israel and America to, dictate our future, kind of thing, in a rally. And like Netanyahu is like, how dare you?
How dare you burn Satan, our Lord Master?
Yeah, and he's like, we're watching you. Like, what? I thought you were supposed to be Jewish. I thought you, only have one God? Monotheism? I guess not.
Monotheism means mono-Satanism.
Yeah, there's that senator in America that was like, that saw that video of people in Iran burning a statue of Baal that they made down, and he was like, that is the single most anti-Semitic thing I've seen in my life. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, burning Satan is the most anti-Semitic thing you can do? What?
So it turns out being Jewish means you're a Satan worshiper?
Like, that's fucking wild, right?
But like,
even like black metal, death metal musicians wouldn't be offended by that.
No, I hope so.
I bet Crowley wouldn't be offended by that. The guy who wrote the Book of Black Magic.
Well, I would think if you really were like a devil worshiper, you would worship more devils than just one.
I guess.
Or at least you should be. But going back to that though, like I said, there's finally a good way of telling really fast if someone is evil or not. If you criticize or mock Baal and they're like genuinely upset, it's like, okay, this person I should not talk to or deal with.
I don't know. You could put a foot mat in front of your house, of Baal or something, or a Molech or whatever, and you have to like step on its face when you walk into the house. And people that dare not do that, don't let in your house, right?
Yeah.
Keep them away from your children.
Yeah.
Maybe they should put that like in front of schools or something.
Yeah, like how like the Spanish Inquisition did that kind of stuff. It's like step on your God to prove you're not like one of them.
Prove you're not pagan or something.
Yeah. Like it is genuinely though beyond me why like well at least it's only in America, but why like everybody's just letting fly that in the Epstein files it clearly not only talks about Trump being a pedophile, but it's like lol, he like killed his wife and buried her in his golf course. And
Yeah, well, people knew about that a long time ago.
well, there are like rumors or whatnot of things like that, but like there's literally stuff about him like killing people and like that, other than his pedophilia and like that. And it's like, okay, so not only are Americans okay with a pedophile as a president, but they're okay with a murderer as their president too, on top of pedophilia and like that. It's like, like everything is beyond the law now.
Yeah, at least in England, they're still like arresting Prince Andrew, right?
Yeah,
I mean that's pretty sane compared to America.
yeah, and he's royalty, not a president. And last time I remember, like royalty is above a president or like that.
Well, I guess
So-
in
so-
a kingdom maybe, but
So suddenly the U.S. president is like a god or something, a deity or something. It's just insane how like I don't know, sedated or weak or just pathetic Americans are.
yeah, well,
It's like if you're not gonna like be upset or cause a revolution for this, then might as well just like become like a total Satan worshiping like Sodom like place, like anything and everything is okay, except being gay and transgender. But man, I'm so glad I'm trans, because I now know why like all those conservative and people on the right hate transgender people, because they're not you can't be trans as a child, so they can't fondle trans children, so they hate trans people. It's like if they were just boys or girls, we could fondle them and sacrifice them and eat them, but trans can't be trans until they take treatment and stuff like that, and to get that treatment you like need to be like 18 or something. So we can't have underage trans. Unforgivable.
got a comment about getting cheap views. I'm not sure, like, given the topics we're talking about, I'm not sure if we'd want to pay to get any more views, but
yeah. You want? Do I want cheap views? Fuck ball. Ha. Now let's see me get cheap views.
yeah, your account would be banned before that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny if you're talking about this shit and like, your
Yeah.
account gets banned for anti-Semitism or something.
Yeah. It might get banned. Yeah. That's like.
I'm pretty sure if you put this up on YouTube, you might get in trouble. Maybe sensitive topics, misleading, anti-Semitic kind of thing.
Yeah, because ball is kosher.
You're talking about eating ball?
So like, so like bar mitzvahs and stuff like that are things to like celebrate becoming a member of the satanic cult or something.
Well, to be fair, I assume you should separate different factions. I assume there are plenty of normal people too.
You know, no wonder conservatives were making a deal about immigrants eating dogs and cats. They can't believe they're not eating babies and children.
Yeah, people being impaled by eating your cats and dogs and being totally fine with adrenochrome and whatnot. Celia says, on another news, our chief of police has been arrested for rape. That's terrible to hear, but at least he gets arrested, I guess. There's a guy that was a journalist in Japan that raped another female journalist, and nothing happened to him because he was BFFs with the prime minister back then. So yeah, so
BFFs with Abe, who was BFFs with the cult that has now taken over Japan.
yeah. But I guess all these institutions and everything is just, I guess it's just like really fucked everywhere in the world. So it's like, are there any like institutions and these governing systems that are any good at all anymore?
No, damn communism.
Something like that. or damn foreigners, or throw in whatever you want in that. It's always blaming other things for the problem. Blaming everything but the actual cause.
Yeah.
Is basically what happens all the time, I guess. But since you were saying that, Salih, in general speaking, like, is the police in Spain pretty corrupt?
I don't
from
know.
What you?
I don't know where the police isn't corrupt.
Yeah, well, that I know. I'm pretty certain of that too. But I was just wondering, police in America are probably the most scariest people you can come across when you're walking around in America.
No, well, the eyes have now made the police like kindergarten cops.
I like the when you dig a hole and capture the monsters in this. I like how they're like resting there. So he says hyper corrupt. Just as I assumed. Well, it's hyper corrupt here too, in Japan too.
Well,
I guess that's just what the system, the policing system is, I guess.
One thing that I really like about Indian movies is that like they always depict the police as the most shitty, corrupt people in the
Usually,
world.
yeah, a lot of that is like they're the worst people that come out of the movies, worse than like the gangsters that come out. Which is actually usually true, unfortunately.
I like that they never sugarcoat the police as these doers of good and protecting the people. It's like abusing their power and like killing civilians and criminals for their own gain and profit. It's like the level of mistrust towards police is I find is very interesting.
Did you check to see if you got enough tickets to make the cat costume?
I guess I can just check quick here.
Do they have that mirror ball afro costume yet? Or is that later on?
I don't know if they have it right now. This is the one right now.
Thief cat.
Thief cat. That's the one right now. I'll just buy it later. I have enough for all this stuff.
Oh, you have enough tickets for it?
Yeah, so I'll do a different one. I'll do this insane 5 one. This should be like a nightmare.
A nightmare?
Having all those like bird ones and the Mitsune like flipping around in the arena stage.
You're just doing to see what it's like.
Yeah. In the case with Japan, the police are corrupt in twisted way where the media and depicting police as corrupt is like a no-no. Because they have control of the membership for the journalist club.
Yeah, if they can take your license from the journalist club away from you if you are too critical of them. And
Yeah.
unless you're a part of that journalist club, you actually don't get official information about, like, say, say if there's a murder case and you need correct information from the police that are investigating. They don't give you the information to you anymore if they deem you untrustworthy like that. So yeah, they have a lot to do with the journalism media control part of it. So yeah.
And they also have a lot to do with that and the and politicians. So you can't be critical towards politicians also in the club, and you can't like go on doing research on police corruption or problems that police cause.
Yeah, there's a famous Japanese investigative freelance journalist. He specifically studies police corruption. He very oftenly randomly gets pulled over by police in like very, very isolated areas where there isn't anywhere around, and gets beaten up fairly frequently apparently. So yeah. There was also that thing before where people assume that there's this really famous bank robbery thing that happened in Japan like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Where someone stole
the $3 million incident.
Yeah, where someone stole like the equivalent of like $3 million in Japanese yen. It's like the highest number that a single person stole from a bank in Japanese history. But strangely, a lot of the evidence and people looking into it disappeared, and stuff.
Yeah, and the photo of the culprit that the police put out after everything was over, and some people did research on it. The culprit was a dead criminal. He wasn't even alive anymore, and they were using his picture as the suspect.
Yeah, but
like, have you seen this person?
But generally, looking back on it now, people assume that the person who actually stole this did have information on, like when the people come to take the money and security information and stuff, which at that time, like, only police had. And people now, a lot of the investigative journalists assume that probably the person who did this was the then son of the chief of police.
Well, not just any chief of police, but the top of the Japanese police.
Yeah. Is what's generally what people assume. They still haven't cracked that case for obvious reasons.
Well, they can't. The case can't be cracked because journalists and people can't investigate police corruption. So.
Yeah. So.
Well, one thing that I would say is the really biggest problem with Japan is that I'm sure if Japanese police heard this, they'd be insanely pissed. But is that the police take advantage of the fact that the average Japanese person does not cause trouble, that they are incredibly lazy. Japan has a serious problem in that cold cases do not get solved because the police just are not interested in resolving unsolved crimes.
Yeah, whenever things like that happens, it's usually either a private investigator that really does give a shit, or investigative journalists that actually go back and study things that actually get cold cases solved.
Yeah,
Actually, so.
but even that too is hard though, because
Oh yeah, they won't give you evidence.
they won't give you evidence, and the police do not like it when non-police crack cases. So they are not cooperative with information, and they do not find it amusing or welcoming that somebody tries to solve these cases that are just like left alone.
Hey, when you died, that king person said, "Don't worry, shit happens."
Yeah. Well, you can set stuff for that the characters say in this. So.
Mm.
Damn it. And it's a known fact that like cops that want to climb the ladder do not want to waste their time on cold cases because it's not good for your career.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the reasons in Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, Adachi-san is basically kicked out of the police force because he was looking into a cold case.
Yeah. The Like a Dragon, the first one, is a prime example of police corruption in Japan. If police cause a crime or they're involved with some major thing, they will systematically weed out police who try to get to the core of that problem, or try to get the police officer or investigative what was that? Why did I forget the name? Well, the PA who is like
Private investigator?
Yeah.
Detective?
Working like in the district or precinct to not like get in the way of their career or like that.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I guess that probably is similar almost everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, even in the U.S. they call like the blue code to like how the police will protect each other.
Yeah. I guess that's pretty standard.
But like I said, the problem is more deep rooted in that even if police aren't involved and it's like an unsolved case, no police want to chase those things because solving cold cases does not help your career in any way.
Yeah. But if you really want to go into the dark areas of police corruption in Japan, if you go back to the Taisho era, oh boy. But yeah, that can be another conversation, another time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the police had to do with the military taking over the country, so.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But I don't know. Since generally you basically mostly since Jenny is fairly pessimistic toward things in general, a lot of times the conversations generally become more critical towards stuff.
Oh, so you want to be soft on the police?
No, not on the police. I'm just saying I'm talking about a different topic. So it says impossible not to be. Well, yeah, I guess so. But so generally pretty critical about Japan in general, which is fine too. I think that's important too. But since Jenny doesn't really cover very much positive topics,
oh yeah, I only cover the negative stuff.
well, you are more rather pessimistic rather than optimistic, and you know, like I said, I do enjoy that too. I'm rather more optimistic rather than me pessimistic. Just for some positive news about Japan, unusually, I guess. There was a thing that happened the other day, well, actually just today, where the current, Hitler-esque prime minister of Japan currently, they decided to buy war drones from Israel, a couple months back. But the students from the University of the Defense Force actually were on strike, saying, asking the country to not buy war drones from Israel, of all places. And that kind of turned into a little bit of a movement because, they got noticed because these are people that want to join the Defense Force that are students that want to join the Defense Force that are on strike about this, which is kind of cool. But actually, people noticed that enough that they got aware of that, and people actually went on demos enough that today the Japanese government actually retracted the contract they had with Israel for buying those war drones, which is fantastic. This is one case where actual democracy and people going out and voicing their concerns actually worked. It actually does work once in a while. I was just like, I was very happy to see that news because a lot of people, generally people don't try not to stir the pot too much here, with
Impossible. That goes against every belief that Japanese have towards Baal.
What? Never heard of them worshiping Baal.
Japanese have always worshipped Baal along with Israel.
There's that weird conspiracy theory that Tengu are actually Jews that came into Japan. Because they have large...
Wasn't the conspiracy theory that the Tengu comes from that Jesus, when he resurrected, came to Japan, kind of like sci-fi mumble jumble that conspiracy theorists in Japan talk about?
That's a different conspiracy theory.
And that Jesus came to Aomori, the area that I was born in, and there's this town that has
they have the star. Their emblem is literally the Star of David. It's a hexagon star.
You mean the Star of Baal?
As I says, all praise Diablo, our Lord of Terror. Yeah, but that's a different conspiracy theory that some people claim that after Jesus resurrected that he traveled to Japan, and that's why there's that shrine in Japan that has the Star of David as the emblem for the shrine and whatnot. But there's this other conspiracy theory that the mythical creatures Tengu are actually Jewish people that traveled to Japan along the Silk Road in the yonder years. And they do wear those little square hats that are boxes that the Ashkenazi Jews wear when they pray. They put these
what did you say? Ask a Nazi?
Ashkenazi?
What?
Well, anyways, that faction of Judaism that they wear those box hats when they pray. They also, when you train and you are learn enough, you are given the you are given the rank to be able to read the Torah, right? So the Tengu, the makimono that they have in their hand, scroll, right? That's actually called the Torah. Specifically called the Torah, and people are like, they thought that it meant tiger, but it could mean that, right? This is the stuff that conspiracy people
wait, are there any things in legends that say Tengu sacrifice and eat children or like
specifically
that?
Tengu abduct children? Specifically. And there's an older drawing of Tengu from before that they're not painted red, that they're painted skin color. So I don't know, really weird conspiracy theory out there. Other legends say that Tengu are the beginning of the ninja clans too. So who knows? Going back to that, the Tengu also only get that Torah when they finish their training too. Similarly, again, Saiba says that Tengu masks were common there, right? Oh yeah, they're pretty common.
Yeah.
They're kind of, I guess they're kind of, they're mischievous creatures, I guess, that in some regions are thought to have abduct children, and some people, and in some regions, like they protect the Shugenja, the people that train in the mountains. They're, you know, depending on the region, different interpretations of the mythical creature kind of thing. But all interpretations aren't positive, though, of them. They're more.
I guess it depends on.
You should be afraid of them more or less.
I guess it depends on what area it originates from.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever area it originates from is closer to what would be the more correct one.
Well, a lot of stuff in Japan, people are still guessing because a lot of the things that are written down are really, really insanely hard to read and interpret in modern Japanese. Similar to some of the medieval writings in English too. It's really hard to interpret into modern English right now. So.
Maybe I'll take my chance on fighting the big ass one. Now I need to question any of those old stories about abducting children.
Well, a lot of things like that in the Grimm fairy tales. I have the complete collection of Grimm fairy tales if you want to go through that. It's a pretty thick book.
I'm sure if you start looking into those stories about children being abducted, you'll start finding a pattern of things, huh?
Oh yeah, they're patterns like that, which is one of the reasons why the conspiracy theorists jump onto it. But a lot of different cultures share similar fears and morals to teach their children, to not wander off in the woods. It's dangerous out there, kind of thing. So. So he says, funny story. My grandmother had a child that the nurses in the hospital told her he had died. They refused to let her see the body, and years later, a newborn abduction and selling business was discovered at that same hospital. That is terrifying.
Wow, that is frightening. I have heard things about that in some places in Japan too, hospitals or places like that claiming that the child died after birth, and it turns out that the baby wasn't dead or like that.
Yeah, you hear some stuff like that once in a while.
Yeah.
That is really scary, though.
Yeah, it's extremely disturbing.
But I just don't get how you could be so heartless to allow things like that. Especially, you would assume that people in the medical world, you're sworn in.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. But yeah, our mother had a lot of health issues since she was small, and she was actually paralyzed and in the hospital for 6 years when she was young. And she's very, very, very untrustworthy of hospitals because she saw way too much while she was in there as a child. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess there's a lot of problems in that too.
Yeah. Well, that raises the question, or in a way, the age-old thing of, like they say with education and teachers too, that they need to be paid more because having so little pay encourages them to go into crimes.
Yeah.
Or like abduct children, or there is a serious problem in Japan that
Oh, sorry, it says can't blame her. Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a serious problem with that in Japan, that teachers are paid so poorly that a lot of younger teachers now get arrested for like having sex with their students, or like
pimping them, or
pimping
like,
their students,
crazy.
or like telling them to give them like nude photos of them. In fact, there's a really disturbing and frightening story that I heard before in the area of Tokyo we lived in. There's a pretty famous school that was famous for sports. And the soccer teacher there of the team was arrested because he was demanding several of the students to like get naked in front of him, and also privately send him naked pictures of themselves.
Yeah. Basically, the stuff that happens, like in Persona 5.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty serious problem, especially in the sports teachers area in Japan.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
With baseball, judo, things like
Judo
that.
a lot, huh?
Yeah. But like, and it's the same with like the doctors and nurses too, and school teachers. But like people that have to do with the well-being of people, or medicine, or like that, should be paid more, so they're not like, well, my pay is so cheap, I should have the right to be able to fondle children, or like that, or like, well, my pay is so cheap, I can make like 3 or 4 years worth of pay by like abducting this baby or something.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with the sports team ones, the people that do that are usually fairly well paid. Just like like in the Persona 5, he was like a star athlete that became a teacher. That in the sports side, that happens more often with those people. It seems like so.
Yeah. But in the end, like those things too become problems because like, well, like you're a well-known or like respected because you got a gold medal or something, and like everybody like praises you and expects you to be some great teacher or like that. but even with being a star like teacher or like that, or being a former star athlete, the pay for the teachers are cheap still.
Yeah, on the average, yeah, absolutely. The amount of working time that goes into that versus how much their wages are is ridiculous. One of my best friends, both of her parents are teachers, and it's rough. You really, really have to be passionate about educating people. If it's not about the money. So for those people, but so people that aren't passionate about it that are you should be suspicious of, right?
Yeah. And with this in sports in Japan especially, it's a serious problem because like these teachers and the students too, like they're still like kids in school, and like they need to like have like 10-hour like training days and like that. They get paid nothing, and it's like and like they're expected to like win tournaments or like be like pro level athletes or like that, and they're just school kids, and
Yeah.
so
Well, basically they're kind of being treated like they're an asset to the school. Kind of.
yeah, and it is because
And-
it's
and
like the
they're-
schools get
yeah,
money
so-
for when the teams like reach the finals or like win like the tournaments or like that. And it's just like an insanely toxic culture, and
Yeah.
that's and like so much kids get like burnout and like become like shells of human beings and like that, like in their just in their teens.
And a lot of times the kids can't really keep up with, like, say, team sports, get bullied by the other kids too. So
Yeah.
that's another issue too.
What the hell? Damn it. Well, like that, like it's just the people who work in fields like that need to get more pay, so they don't start thinking of like, well, the pay's so cheap, I should be able to do this, or well, nobody's gonna care if I do this anyways, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I do agree on that. Well, but everyone should be paid more here. I mean, the minimum wage has like not moved at all in the
Yeah.
last like 40 years. Crazy. Or it's so abysmal that it might as well have not have moved at all.
Well, whatever amount it moved, the
The cost of living goes
yeah.
up
And-
exponentially more.
yeah, and our female Hitler prime minister is like, I don't think we're taxing the people enough.
Yeah.
It's
we need the people to be more productive and buy more and like procreate, have them work harder for lower wages, and then tax them even more. Great plan, by the way.
yeah, it's really insane because like the Liberal Democrat Party, which won almost all the seats, and now it's like the Japanese Fascist Party
Yeah.
is the top party in Japan, but like the people running for seats were like
Salia
guess
says works wonders for the rich.
yeah
Yeah, basically, it really is just all the policies are just being pushed for the rich people. So
yeah, and then it's and they're like the country's not getting enough money, so we need to raise taxes to 12% within like a year or two, and people vote for
That's
these
just consumption
clowns.
taxes. Yeah. Hmm. And they're adding a whole bunch of other types of taxes on other things too. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, the yen is getting weaker and weaker in a country that relies almost solely on importing its food from outside of Japan.
This is a total Japanese epidemic, so I'm sure you've heard nothing of it, Saliev, but in of course it's normal that people mainly eat rice here with food, but the government or the Japanese Democratic Liberal Democratic Party has like stifled farmers so bad that there more and more farmers aren't making rice, and on top of that, the farmers have to sell rice at an insanely cheap price. But last year, the Japanese agriculture division jacked up the price of rice about 2.5 times what it used to be, and claiming that there's not enough rice and there's not enough people growing it. And the people growing rice have said that we're shipping the same amount we've always have, and that there is no shortage of rice, and they're just manipulating the price of rice, and the people that are making the rice are still making it at the cheap price. So recently, post that, more people are starting to not make rice anymore.
Yeah. I mean, a good example is our uncle. Our uncle actually makes rice too. So we actually just buy from our uncle. Of course, you've heard of us going out and helping him out too. But so we buy from our uncle. We actually buy from him a higher price than what he sells for to retails. To retail, but so he makes more money, but we also pay lower than retail too. So buying direct from the farmer really does help.
Yeah.
Both sides actually. So
But because of that, like, more farmers are not making rice anymore, and then the government's like, y'all ain't making enough rice, and like we can't fill demand, so we're gonna buy American rice, and we're gonna sell it to you for the price we used to sell Japanese rice before we jacked it up 2.5 times the price it used to be.
yeah, well, but actually it's more deceiving than that, because there are local laws for competition in Japan where you can't sell foreign rice at too much of a difference in price compared to the locally grown rice prices.
Yeah.
But they still buy it at insanely lower
Yeah,
prices. They buy American rice at an insanely lower price than what they buy.
it's basically just like crap, bird feed level rice.
Yeah, but so anywho, they buy it exponentially cheaper than the locally grown rice in Japan. But they tariff it so much, the tariffs, to equal the difference, so that they sell it at a similar price from the locally grown rice in Japan. So the country makes a lot of money off of importing foreign rice into Japan, because the price difference they adjust with the tariffs that they put on it. So that the MSRP, the retail price, is similar to the local rice prices. So it's another way that they heavily tax something where in the end the people have to pay through the nose to feed themselves. So yeah, fucked up.
And then at the same time they're like, yo, why ain't you people eating more rice? It's like, you can't fucking afford rice anymore. It's just ridiculous. But what's even more ridiculous is people will vote for these idiots.
Yeah, that's what's really ridiculous, actually.
And all the while it's like, you know what the problem is? It's fucking foreigners, man. They're taking all the jobs and they're buying up the land and they're eating the dogs and the cats.
Actually, the other day I saw a Japanese person. Says, we are taking all your rice.
All your rices belong to us.
Basically. Yeah, but actually what's kind of crazy though is that Japanese farmers can't make a living because selling their rice in Japan, they have to sell it at a set low price, and then they jack up the prices at retail. So to get better wage, they have to make higher quality rice and export it. So actually the really high quality rice is being exported into like China and Korea and America and other countries that that have like that enjoy Japanese cuisine. That's like like sushi. You specifically need a short grain rice that is fairly starchy in Japan.
Yeah.
For it to stick together well. So most of that is grown in Japan and some parts of Korea. So yeah, they have to export it to make a better living. So it is kind of becoming like that. Similarly thing happening with fruit farmers too, I hear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hear that.
So it says, gotta feed onigiri to everyone except the Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sooner or later people in Japan are going to be feeding their children with like Wonder Bread or something.
Yeah. But seriously though, people are eating bread and they're making bread because flour is much cheaper than rice now. And even with that, they're raising the price of flour.
Especially butter and eggs. So yeah, the other components in making good quality bread. And milk. Yeah, so. The only logical thing it seems like they have no plan whatsoever. The only logical thing, Sally says, it's pathetic considering rice is one of the most basic foods. Yes, it is really pathetic. And everyone I know complains about it. Everyone I know, literally. Yeah. Like every single person that I've talked to, one of my teachers in art too, and he's saying too that, yeah, I just,
What? That was impossible. What?
Only on special occasions kind of thing. It's crazy.
That sucks. That was almost at the end.
You were almost at the end. Too bad.
That was total BS. It put me in a death trap. It was impossible to get out of the way of that. It's like impossible for the children to eat rice now. It's just the saddest thing is that
it says here eggs used to be taxed by 6%, which was for first needed products. Now they are taxed by 21%, which is listed for luxury products. So now eggs are luxury. That is insane.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it's like how eggs are $20 in America now.
yeah, it's like, come on. It's not. But the crazy thing is that like one of the states that we lived in America is famous for its poultry, and chicken farms. It's like these things are like, they're like machine controlled systematic facilities. All the chickens are like in cages, and they're like managed by like AI programmed machines kind of thing. It's like, it really is like a system, and to maximize the production of it, there's no way that they can't make money off of it being cheaper. Absolutely.
It's just crazy.
Mm.
And
Sally says chicken farms are some eldritch horror shit. Yes, they are. They're
Yeah.
very, very frightening.
yeah. But it's like, well, the sad thing and the most disturbing thing is, like I stated, the major party is the Japan Liberal Democrat Party, and they're fascist Nazi. So that's the Liberal Democrat side. It only gets lower from there.
Yeah.
It's like we start with fascist Nazi and we only go down from there. It's like, is nobody like centered or left or anything
or balanced, or it's like, yeah. Well, there are plenty of people that are. It's just the governing system is just total fucking shit. So as if those are the liberal ones, I fear to ask about the far right. Oh, the far right is another can of worms.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the Liberal Party, they got a bunch of seats by screaming about like how they're afraid of blacks, and the foreigners are at your doorsteps to take your jobs and everything from you.
Yes.
And from there, it's just even worse.
Yeah. Sooner or later, they'll start saying they're eating the cats and the dogs or something.
Yeah.
Right.
While they have pins and brooches of horned cows and stuff like that.
Yeah. And having secret handshakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
As I says, I'm tempted to go to Japan and salute everyone saying "ni hao." Well, the average person will probably be fine, but yeah, if you do it to the wrong guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
But even with that, people don't really tend to get violent. Even the people on the far right generally.
Well, the sad thing is that basically they're all just a bunch of cowards.
Yeah, they're kind of sissies.
And it's like they're all these like closet racists. They're like they're afraid of you, and then like on the internet they're like fucking for it.
Yeah. Sai says, also, I have a little story I need to ask you if it could be true, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, fine.
Sure.
No problem. Probably just wrapping up anyway, so
Yeah, I would not do that one again. That took 20 minutes and I just failed it.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
tough battle. That I forgot. I continue to forget the name of that one. That big bone dragon is really awesome though to fight. It is a
Yeah.
pretty cool battle when it goes good.
Yeah. If only it would end quicker.
Well, I guess there's the easier difficulties for that. You can you can hunt the ones that are easier, right?
Well,
But
yeah,
you don't really get any good.
Yeah,
loot for that, though.
but like after they added that one, I still don't have the armor for the gamma version of that one.
Mm. You can go and wander around a little bit.
Yeah. But just going back to that before you're finished writing your question, basically like you racist people are just like shit scared of foreigners, so if they see a group of foreigners, they most definitely will not say anything.
Probably,
like
yeah. It's a very you need to be a very unique kind of stupid in Japan to confront people in that manner. Okay, so it says a good friend of mine went to Japan last year. He told me that his group were visiting a shrine up in a mountain with a ton of stairs. He said that in the stairs you could only use the right and left sides, as the center would be reserved for the shrine kami. And the girl decided that kami-sama could ear her ass and sit down in the center of the stairs. So because of her, her entire group was expelled. Okay, well, this if the kandashi is the person who facilitates the shrine. If the kandashi sees you and thinks you're being disrespectful, yes, they will expel you, and yes, the center road is no one walks on because that is the road that the whatever deity that they are honoring at that shrine. The center of the road is open for the deities that they honor at that shrine for. So yes, you do need to walk on the left, far left or far right side, and not walk in the middle. And absolutely not sit in the middle. So yeah, that would probably get you expelled.
Yeah.
So yes, that is true. That's correct. But again, that's a pretty strict kandashi. Generally, if it's a fairly reasonable dude, probably that person is probably very strict and leaning into the racism area. If it's a shrine that a lot of foreign travelers, come to, at least the kandashi a lot of times can speak broken English at least and say, "Oh, sorry, you need to open the center of the road," and at least explain in broken English at least that why you need to open the center of the road kind of thing. But I'm sure your friend probably sat in the middle of the stairs because there are places that have insanely long stairs. And they were tired and they wanted to rest, and they saw that people were walking on the left and right. So they probably sat in the middle, not out of disrespect, but respecting the people there because they thought they were getting out of the way probably. So yeah, I would say no bad on her side too, which again would make it more reasonable for whoever facilitates the shrine to be a little bit more kind and explain as to why she shouldn't sit in the middle and, oh, well, here, go ahead and sit on this area. It's okay. You can go ahead and rest over here. That would be a better way to go about. So
well, that is very much so that, and that is one of the really, really major problems in Japan is that there's very little explanation outside of Japanese.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If it's a shrine where there's a lot of tourism, they really need to put more English signs and explaining what
that please do not sit on the steps.
Yeah,
please walk to the left or right or like that.
Yeah, people complain about foreigners and tourists not having good manners, but they don't explain what kind of manners or what kind of rules you're supposed to acknowledged or what is what's thought as good manners there. Sawyer says, he told me she was super disrespectful. Okay, well, I guess maybe she was being so disrespectful that the kandashi expelled the group altogether. Maybe, but but still, it would be a little bit more polite of the dude to explain, if he can explain, or find someone that can explain. Or put a fucking sign up that says "Don't sit on the fucking middle of the road," or the stairs, for so and so reason.
Or we'll call the police.
Yeah. Well, but that is true. Yeah. So but whenever I go to a shrine, I don't walk in the middle, just in case.
Yeah, and
also make sure you go through the tori though. That's also a way of getting rid of your kegare. What would that be in English? Well, anyways, sorry, because I mean, people climbing tori gates to be TikToks is one thing, but I'm sure I'll be committing some disrespectful thing. I'm hyper polite, but the rules of politeness of Japan are not easy to see. Be right back. Fun. Oh, okay, no problem. Even for Japanese people, it's kind of annoying
Yeah.
a lot of times. Honestly, the amount of politeness that is expected of people. Yeah.
And the shrines are very confusing because depending on what kind of faith-based it is, the rules are different.
Yeah, they can even for Japanese people, it can be pretty challenging too. For so even more so, they should give an explanation for tourists.
Yeah, and then there's also the more difficult thing of like a lot of shrines are pretty chill and cool about things, but some shrines like you do one wrong thing and you get in trouble or like that.
Yeah.
The level of what's okay or not is very, very different depending on what shrine, who runs the shrine and stuff like that.
Yeah. It can be pretty ambiguous.
Yeah.
So much so that actually I probably know more about Japanese manners than the average Japanese person does.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm a lot of times I'll be like, "Oh, that's not the way you're supposed to do that." kind of thing to people in Japan.
Yeah. And then it becomes another one of those fucking foreigner things. It's
Yeah.
like, you think you're more holy than me because you know more than me.
As you're waiting for Salia to come back, I guess you can kind of prepare to close the stream, I guess.
Prepare to close it.
Yeah. You don't have to end the stream. You can wait for Salia to come back from the phone, but
Mm-hmm. What, just leave an early closing message?
no, I'm just saying that you can like just be like, well, this was this week's stream. Did everyone enjoy? Or do another match. That's another thing you could do. Or you can buy that. You can make the costume for the Palico.
I guess I can just buy it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you dress it up? What's the name of your Palico?
Shabby.
Shabby.
It's named after a trans porn star that I liked.
Okay.
She is retired though.
Okay.
Yeah, she is retired and is retired and gotten bottom surgery.
Well, if that's what she wants.
Yeah, that's totally fine. It's just something that makes me sad. That's all.
Yeah. Well, again, to each their.
That's people's life.
Yeah.
And I know and post becoming trans, I've learned the valuable lesson that 90% of trans people just want to rid of their kibbles and bits.
Yeah, well,
and I learned that I'm a freak that nobody wants to talk to or deal with, and I'm ashamed of the entire community.
No, you're a minority group within a minority group, and that's absolutely totally fine.
That makes the majority group sick to their stomach.
Well, if there's a majority group that is sick to their stomach because of the minority group within their minority group, then they can go fuck themselves. There's no reason justifying to be judgmental toward other people that are just trying to make life a little bit more easier and happier, and be themselves, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah. So anyone who thinks ill of other people who are just trying to be happy and be themselves without taking advantage of other people, if people have ill will toward other people like that, like I said, they can go fuck themselves.
Well, there's another thing to tell you, but like most trans people are like actual women have no sex drive or like that, so they wouldn't fuck themselves.
I'm not literally saying that. You get what I'm saying.
Do I?
Yeah, I hope you do.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like I need to. Being sexual, I need to be the one that functions and works, because no trans women want to keep their thing, or the few that don't get surgery, like are not functional anymore. So I'm the only one to put in that effort to have an actual relationship with someone who doesn't want to be in a relationship with some sicko like me. But I need to I put in all that work for like nothing. Just to be thought of as like some gross half human.
Well, you don't want to spend time with someone that thinks you're a gross half human anyway. So you can weed out the motherfuckers more easily.
And then trans femmes that aren't like that, like wanna be with quote real men, and femboys are like in want to be with men or are bisexual. So it's like I have no one that will like even like consider me as a human. Not even look at me as whether I am like someone who can be worthy of a relationship or not.
Well, again, you don't want to have a relationship with someone like that anyway. So, again, just let those people be happy with their lives, and you go out looking for someone that would be happy with you.
Yeah, well, that's why I have no choice but to play games and just live alone.
Am I talking to a wall? Did you suddenly become deaf to just like my voice or something? Or is this just your everyday pessimism?
It's the lonely voice in my head not shutting up, probably.
Okay.
It's the lonely voice in my head that knows I will eternally be lonely and alone and feel like I'm worthless and meaningless. But knowing that I chose to live my life this way, and whether I was trans or not, I'd just be lonely and miserable and in pain and alone. So I choose to live in the least morsel of way that I feel a dignity or happy with myself, even though that means either way I'm just lonely and alone, and people don't like me and think I'm disgusting.
Okay, I think I've had enough of that. Why don't we close the stream for right now? I'll just leave a comment for Salia.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah, I don't want if I don't want him to feel like he's keeping us waiting to I'm sure it's an important call too. So.
Well, yeah. I guess so.
Good.
Well, sorry if you're listening to this after it's over and this stream is just sitting there on my page.
Sorry says. Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're back just in time for us closing the stream.
Yeah.
Jenny was going on a downward spiral about talking about how she will eternally be alone, and she is the most isolated specimen that has ever emerged from the abyss that we call this universe.
Well, that's what having a woman Hitler prime minister and seeing the country go down the drain does to your mental status.
Yeah. Sally says, "No worries, I'm the second." Woohoo! We have an ally here.
Well,
nice to have friends.
Well, it's not wonderful news because that's just sad and depressing. But the Winter Olympics are going on, so I guess we have a gold medal winner and a silver medal winner here.
Okay.
And Bourbon right here is perfectly happy and fine being alone.
Yeah. Not a competition I want to compete in.
Being feeling alone and miserable and shitty and like that, at least we are winners within that circle.
Awesome. Sally says, the other day I told one friend that I'm not the king of self depreciation because I think I only deserve to be a peasant. Well, I think that is, in a sense, a very, it's a constructive, I think it's constructive to be grounded toward yourself, though. Yeah. So I don't think that's bad. I think I don't really see myself as being like worthy of being super rich or anything either. Too, I'm fine with being, Yeah.
To quote my sister, yesterday, she was saying with all the stuff from the Epstein files coming out, she is genuinely thankful that she is not rich and she does not have to take part in human sacrifices and eating people.
That's another way of
no amount of money is worth that.
That's definitely a sane approach to looking at that.
Yeah, I think being like poor or like being able to live your life without having to kill people or see people getting killed and like eating their flesh is much better than having like $1 billion and doing that.
Yeah. So I said she's missing a wonderful part of life then. Think of all the protein she's missing.
Soylent Green is made of people.
Classic. Might be pointing to some stuff.
Yeah, the guy who wrote that knew something for sure. But ending on a winning note. Thank you, Salia, for coming by. You are a champion.
A champion.
I'm sorry I took the gold medal, but you still get the silver one.
Salia says, my pleasure. Dude, take care of you too. Thanks. You too.
You too. Thank you. And is it? Am I suffering from amnesia, or did Mr. Mibori come by?
No, actually.
Whoa.
unusually, Mibori-san actually missed this week's stream. They've only missed, I think 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe they were watching the Winter Olympics or something. Salia says he's getting an update. Oh, that's it then. Yeah. Mibori 2.0.
2.0. Like the Megan 2.0.
Yeah. It was actually kind of a fun movie.
Yeah.
So, that will be the stream for this week. Again, Salia, thanks for dropping by. Salia says twice as many cats. There's no such thing as too many cats. So
yeah, more cats.
The merrier. So hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and a great week. Hope to see you back again. Take care, and I will be. Salia says take care. Thanks.
Thank
And
you.
I will be closing the stream in Japanese. So again, thanks. ということでね、今週はここまでということでね、モンハンのアップデートが最終無料の大型アップデートが最終アップデートを迎えたので、今週はモンスターハンターワイルズでした。まあ、過去の、大体毎週こんな感じでダラダラね、ほぼ全編英語みたいな感じでお送りすることが多い。
全編英語で生だら提供。
そうだね。まあ、英会話の勉強にはなるかもね。
この配信はもう日本ではもう放送禁止内容をずっと喋ってるので
結構ねということでね、まあ内容気になる人はね、アーカイブとして YouTube に載せておりますので、自動翻訳機能とかをオンにしてねYouTube 見てくださればYouTube の検索バーをクリックして zGennyy で検索しますとね、この配信の席か配信の主ねであるジェニーのチャンネルが出てきますので、いいね、読者登録通知をオンにしてくださると我々喜びます。よろしくお願いします。毎週ね遊びに来たいという人は Twitch の方で毎週、金曜0時に配信しておりますので、よければ遊びに来てください。それではまたその日までぜひ良い1週間をお過ごしください。それではまたのご視聴。See you!
Bye bye.